So, Grant, first of all, how would you reflect on the first few games this season?
I think positive in terms of performances. First and foremost, I think we've been good in terms of what we've done. Obviously, look, you're always judged on results as a football team. First two games really good performance at Middlesbrough in the Cup. Good for large spells against Wycombe, then concede a goal for their equaliser. And then again, I thought we were really good probably up until Huddersfield scored on Tuesday night. And we didn't take our opportunities to put ourselves into the lead. Like I said, after the game, we had opportunities to go 1, 2, 3 in the first half. I thought we were excellent. But yeah, look, we've debriefed the game, the last two games actually, Wycombe and Huddersfield this week, and we'll focus straight on to the next one.
Despite all the planning you do during the summer, is it always an intriguing aspect as a manager of a promoted team to see how those first few league games go?
Yeah, well, obviously it's a step up in quality, step up in class. Obviously this league is very, very competitive, and it's been competitive now for probably 3 or 4 years. And what I mean by that is that, you know, there's some massive clubs in the division who can spend a lot of money and recruit, you know, in terms of who they want, really. So it's difficult coming up against that type of opposition some weeks, but it's enjoyable, and it's how we want it to be and where we want it to be because of the work we done last year and the year before. So it's exciting. It's an exciting season for everybody, and when we put this squad together, we wanted to put a squad together that we knew the recruits are good enough to come in, not only last year or the year before, but even when we first came in, that they're good enough to play at the next level. And I think there's a lot of them showing that at this moment in time, that they've made the step up really, really well.
Are you still looking in the market? A few fans have said, is there any chance of another striker coming in? So what's your sort of feel on the transfer market?
Yeah, possibility. I met 2 strikers yesterday, 2 number 9s to different 9s to what we have. So there may be a possibility of that, but it's not just as easy as meeting them. There's a lot of work goes into it because there's other teams that are interested. But like I always say, you know, I'm happy with the squad. If I can improve the squad, Terry and Gavin will always support me, and I'll always do that. So could we bring a 9 in before the window shuts? Yes, but it's not just as easy as that. We need to be. It's not about just going out and bringing a 9 in for the sake of it. He needs to fit into what we want and what we're about, and needs to be different to what we have.
Did you request any feedback on the penalty the other night, and have you received any feedback at all on that decision?
Yeah, I have, yeah. I spoke to the referee after the game. His words to me was it was consistent holding, not a trip, which I thought it was, but it was consistent holding. And when I spoke to Mike Jones the day after, he agreed with me that it's not consistent holding. It's a penalty that was very, very softly given, which I knew at the time anyway, and hence why I was a wee bit disappointed afterwards, speaking to the press, our press, and yourselves and Ricky. I knew it was soft at the time, you know, and I stand by what I say, that if that is a penalty, then there's going to be 10 penalties a game, because, you know, there's these new rules and laws now that you're not allowed to grab anyone at corners. If I watch back every corner from that game, or every corner from the start of the season for that matter, there'd be a penalty every corner. So frustrating. I said again, I know Joe Taylor, the impact from Connor is not enough for Joe Taylor to throw himself to the floor like that. And at that moment in the game, it took the game away from us, I thought, you know, and I didn't like, I didn't like the body language of the players after that. We addressed that on Thursday, and that won't happen again, but just disappointed when the penalty was given, because I still felt that we could have come back into the game. And even at 2-0, I still felt we could back into the game, but it actually sucked the life out of us a little bit, a penalty at that time.
In a weird way, even though you lost the game, is that as an encouraging a game as you've maybe had, because they have spent a lot of money, they're expected to be up there, and in that first half, you were well on top, dominating the game, and could easily have won that match?
Do you know what's interesting? I've had a lot of phone calls and text messages over the last 3 or 4 games from managers, players who I've played with, players who have managed who played in the game against us, saying how good we were. But I don't want to be at the team who are good and lose. That's not what we are. You know, we need to put to the sword when we had the opportunity in the first half and we didn't. So it's on us. Nobody else. It's our fault. But that's something I don't want to be. I don't want to be a team that looks excellent on the eye and don't score. So, and I don't think anybody does. Anyone connected to the football club do. So, although I can always lean on the positives and show the players the good bits, and there's always areas where I think we need to be better, and a wee bit of composure at certain moments in the game. Against Huddersfield let us down, and obviously the goal was disappointing from us, but that's something we can certainly rectify on the training ground because we've got players that can take information.
I know you touched on this on Tuesday night, but I wanted to come back to it mainly because it's something that we end up talking about on our show all the time, and it is about the momentum killing tactics of goalkeepers and teams. I wanted to ask you though, given so many managers seem to do it these days, do you think a lot of them actually like having the ability to essentially call a timeout? And is that part of the problem, that actually, yeah, there's no rule to stop it, but managers just seem to take advantage of that all the time, nearly every game?
Yeah, I think, look, if there's a loophole, managers will find it. Coaching staff will find it. Players will find it. Interesting, I spoke to Mike about that as well. And this has been a subject now for not only just me speaking to Mike about the penalty incident and that incident, it's been a subject now for a lot of years. And it's something that the governing body need to do something about ASAP, really, because it's there's all these different type of changes in the rules every single year. But the big one is the goalkeeper going down. So, like I said after the game, I think it's easily resolved. I think it's either there's a player, your captain, whatever, somebody gets nominated to go off the pitch for as long as it takes the goalkeeper to have the treatment. But I guess their probably counter problem to that would be, how do we know the keeper's not faking an injury? How do we know the keeper's not injured? So listen, I think something does need to be done. I think if you ask most of the managers up and down the country now, they would say it needs to change for sure, and we're no different.
I don't want to take you down a rabbit hole with this, but I also wonder, Grant, why can't they just say, even if the keeper's down, you just can't go over to the sideline? You know, the players will get a yellow card if you go and receive tactics, and that feels like something that's easy to fix. And in a game where we talked about VAR to death, we have stoppage time a couple of years ago that was like 10, 15 minutes. You give that a try. Why has something not at least been attempted to try and stop this? Because if you are a team that's on top in a game, you deserve to carry that momentum, don't you?
Yeah, but I think it goes back to whether it's an injury or not. Look, from my point of view, if my goalkeeper's down injured, I would like to speak to my team. Do you get what I mean? So I think any manager would like to, if there's a stoppage in play and my goalkeeper's injured, I'd like to speak to him, the team, and maybe speak to them about certain things has happened, or how can we change things. So I don't know whether they do something like that. I think the easiest solution really is just to, if they get an inkling of that it's been sort of way subscribed from the bench for the goalkeeper to go down, then the captain or some of the players, a nominated player, has to come off the pitch for that period of time. I think that would be an easy way. But yeah, look, it's a lot of people more clever and higher up than me that make these decisions. So again, we just have to abide by the rules.
What kind of game do you expect against Port Vale?
Very tough game. A team that I admired last year. How resolute they were all season, how strong they were. Excellent manager, excellent coach in there as well. Martin Devaney, somebody who I know from my playing days, and done an excellent job at Barnsley. I think it'll be a really tough game. I think they're well organised, well drilled, been together now for a number of years. Obviously have the momentum and the winning feeling still in their camp. Although they haven't won a game in terms of the league this season, but it's still there. You don't lose that just because it's 2 or 3 games or whatever it may be. So I know it's going to be a really tough game. We had 2 excellent games against them last year. We were brilliant at their place. They come and done a number on us at our place. So yeah, I expect a tough game. I expect a team that works very, very hard, are excellent on set plays, are excellent on second balls. I watched them myself against Cardiff, and I thought they deserved to win the game that night. So we expect a tough game.
Finally, any injury news to report, Grant, going into this weekend?
Yeah, just one. Touch and go on Robbie Gotts for the weekend. He's got a little bit of a problem with his thigh overstretched in the game against Huddersfield. So we'll give him as long as he possibly can, but it's 50-50 at the moment.